Hello, my name's Ian Middleton from Challenger Institute of Technology. I would like to show you some epoxy grout, and I want to dispel some of the myths surrounding epoxy grout. It's actually a very easy product to work with, but a lot of tilers have trouble with it. There's a lot of myths surrounding it. So I would just like to show you my version of epoxy grout. I've attached some mosaic tiles here today. I did this earlier on for this video. It's not quite how I liked it. These are pretty basic tiles, but they'll do perfectly well for what we need to talk about. The grout I'm using is a two-part epoxy, A and a B. There's a lot of these on the market. Some of them are three-part, some of them are just two-part. So this is a hardener and a filler, or a colour. And what I'm going to do, obviously gloves on, guys, and glasses on. Now, it's not really a product you want to mess about with, but it is a very, very good product to use. So part A goes into part B, or part B into part A, whichever the case may be. And you really need an electric paddle mixer to mix this up. It's one of these products that you want to be reasonably comfortable with using, and I have used this for many, many years. This particular product, there's probably no reason to name products. I'm not trying to promote any one product or another. They're very similar, a lot of them. They're water-based. This is a water-based product, so it will wash off with water. I'm just going to mix this up now, whiz it up with this paddle mixer. Now guys, it's really important to read the instructions with this type of adhesive, this type of grout or adhesive if you're using epoxy. The instructions are quite clear. You need a certain amount of time to mix it up so the particles get pulled together. I'm just scraping the parts that I didn't quite get to mix off the sides. Pop that back in there. I'm going to whiz it up. This particular one recommends 90 seconds or a minute and a half. Let's have it. That'll do. Okay. So again, this is to make sure it's all mixed together. I'm just going to have a look down the bottom. Yep, there's no colour left. This is actually a clear, pretty much a clear epoxy. Quite clear, but it tends to take on the colour of the tiles. So when you've got a blend, it'll take on the colour of the dark tiles and the light tiles. Now it's pretty simple to use if you follow the instructions. That is a paddle grout applicator. It's not one of the pointy, soft rubber ones, foam ones. This is quite firm on its edges, and you'll see why in a second. I'm going to load up my paddle with some epoxy. It's a little bit like chewing gum. You don't want to leave this more than 10 or 15 minutes. It does set in about an hour, but it's very simple to use. This is actually a non-slump version. It doesn't run out of the joints. It really does fill those holes quite nicely, as you can see. It goes on quite easily, and I'm literally just going to squash it into those joints. So bear with me. is quite an easy product to use. Just going to scrape off what I can, and as I do, I'm going to fill any voids I see. A little bit there. See, I'm just scraping the excess off, because you can actually wipe this straight off. So, quite on a big job, you'll probably have a two-man team, one coming behind you, washing it off as you go. It is messy, so please be very careful when you're using it. Pretty much done. There's a little bit left on the tile. So this one washes off with water. So I've basically got fresh water in there. A few secret weapons. I just add personally. I add a splash of white vinegar. Now that does make a difference. It's probably not manufacturer's recommendations. So I've rinsed most of the water out of the sponge. And then we just literally round and round. Maybe just a tad more water. Yeah. As some epoxies come with a little packet of crystals. My belief that that's actually sulfamic acid, not sulfuric acid, sulfamic acid. It's this similar product that we get here called CLR. That gets limestone out of your kettle, or lime out of your kettle. That's your first wash, basically. I'm going to let that set for about 5 minutes. Fresh sponge. Job done. Finished. I will give that a bit of a polish. I'll probably leave that till tomorrow morning. And again, a little bit of white vinegar in a bucket of water. I do sometimes use one of those little white scour pads, just to get any haze that's still maybe on there. I like using Epoxy Grout in the afternoon, and then I've got 12 hours basically. I come back the next day and rinse that off, wash that off. My background is swimming pools, and quite often you might be doing epoxy grout for a number of days with the swimming pool. So there's a procedure you get into, but having a 2-person team, even a 3-person team, one mixing while one's putting it on, while one's washing it off, works fantastically. So there you are, guys, epoxy made easy. Thank you.